Hmm?
And it is posted to the community. Alright. I am Mike TheZorch, and this is my good friend and co-host, Tygra Kahn.
Hello.
Alright, I got the voice, I actually got the text chat up. So, E3's press conferences officially start today with the Electronic Arts press conference, and I've got the IGN window up so I can start watching that once it starts.
Minutes, 83 minutes.
Yep,
Yeah.
starts in 80. The press conference won't start then. This is just their yapping time before the press conference. And this is the only one that's going to be happening today. Tomorrow we're going to get the Microsoft, Bethesda, and Devolver Digital. And then Monday we're going to be getting Square Enix and all the others. But I'm really interested in tomorrow's. But
that's what I'm looking for.
Being a game journalist, being a game journalist, I have to be fair. Now, anyone that knows us knows that neither of us are fans of Electronic Arts. I know that we are definitely not EA fans. We do not like EA. For reasons a lot of people already know. I'm in the community, in the Gamers Bay community, I am quite vocal about my, I'd say, very disappointment of Electronic Arts. But I have to be.
For me, it's much more simple. They destroyed Spore and slaughtered SimCity. I've never forgiven them for it. It's simple for me.
Well, what they did to one of my favorite games, Dungeon Keeper, is even worse. They turned it into a money-grubbing mobile game where you have to pay money for extra time to play it. So,
yeah, they did.
And they almost killed almost killed Star Wars Battlefront. Might have killed it. There was something about them, some leak that said that they were giving up on it, yet they're still putting out updates for it. They've just released they're releasing or just released stuff for that ties into the Han Solo movie, and they've announced that they will have General Grievous as a playable character, so with Clone Wars content. General Grievous, I believe, younger Obi-Wan. I'm hoping Ahsoka.
That would be interesting.
If they put Ahsoka in the game, I will probably buy it then. Because Ahsoka started out as this character that goes, what the heck is this? Anakin has a Padawan? It's like,
I did not, when I first heard of Clone Wars, I didn't like it. I didn't like the idea of it. I thought it was silly.
Yeah, but now, you thought the idea was silly. Then I started watching it on Netflix, and I noticed that it was way out of kilter. The story was way out of order. Like,
didn't make any sense.
There was one episode where this one character was a Rodian that was close to Padme died, and in the next episode he's there, alive.
Mm-hmm.
And then you looked it up and found the proper watch order, and when we watched that series, we go,
plus the movies together, then it was like, yeah, that changed my opinion when we did that marathon.
This was a kids show?
Yeah.
Like, holy crap. I mean, this hits hard. This hits hard on issues about as hard as classic Trek.
Mm-hmm. There was some rough stuff in there.
Especially some of those battles. That second battle of Geonosis. Whoa.
That's back when Star Wars was good.
Yeah, back before the SJWs got their hands on it.
Mm-hmm.
So, Electronic Arts this year. Yeah. Now, as I said, we're not big fans of EA. But as games journalists, I have to be fair to them. I have to try and approach this, with open eyes and an open mind.
I don't. I'm just a sidekick.
But now today's press conference, what I'm most interested in seeing is if they're going to show anything for Anthem. Now, Anthem is a BioWare game, and it looks, when they first showed it, it looks interesting. It's been delayed, I believe, till next year, and a lot of people, and I agree, a lot of people say that the future of BioWare hinges on this game being a success. It looks to be like it will be a third-person, open-world FPS RPG, and you're sort of mercenary, or you're a mercenary or somebody else that goes out into the world, fights enemies, probably scavenges materials, parts, and you're in a suit of powered armor. And you can have different types of powered armor. You can have a heavy type, you can have a lighter type. You can go underwater with them, you can fly with them. It looks pretty interesting. And a lot of people said it was in response to Destiny 2, which Activision and Bungie is in the process of killing Destiny right now with what they're doing.
That would be my concern about this, just hearing your description of it, is that they would loot box the crap out of it. When you said the bio suits or the mechanical suits and stuff, first thing that came to my mind was loot boxes for parts and upgrades and stuff.
Yes.
That's immediately where my mind goes when I think of this and what they would do to it.
For Battlefront 2, EA has walked back the whole thing with
they got
loot
pushed
boxes.
back.
They got pushed back. No, they walked back, but they got pushed back. And their execs have been going hot and heavy with saying, no, we're not changing anything. We're not changing our direction. They're still pushing hard with their loot boxes and stuff in FIFA. And they're going to push some buttons with that, because FIFA, that's soccer. That's football over in Europe. And those countries over in Europe, they take football seriously. Even more seriously than we take American football here in the U.S.
They can get pretty fanatical.
They get fanatical. Don't mess with their football over there, especially FIFA football. Don't mess with it. And they're going to make those countries angry.
World War hasn't kicked in over all that stuff.
So this conference, we're probably going to see some stuff from the next FIFA game, because they have to release a new one of that every year. So they have to milk that cow. And I'm hoping to see a little more of Anthem and what direction they're going to go. There had been some announcements. They said they weren't going to have loot boxes in it. An exec from someone from BioWare saying that they weren't going to have loot boxes in it. That remains to be seen when the game finally comes out. And I'm sure there are several people that I know, Jim Sterling being one of them, is going to yell quite loudly if they're in that game. Him and Angry Joe.
Oh yeah.
Mostly Jim. He's been crusading for PC. He's been crusading for PC gaming almost as hard as Total Biscuit was. And Total Biscuit was a big crusader against predatory practices by the gaming industry. And he will be sorely missed. And he went before E3 is coming, and I'm sure he would have wanted to see what's coming up. But we have to carry on and carry the torch and keep on going on, moving on. I'm not sure what else EA is going to be announcing today. I don't know what their roster is. They're probably going to show a little bit of Days Gone. No, I don't think that's EA. Days Gone may not be EA. We'll probably see that on the PlayStation press conference. Now, what we're really looking forward to is tomorrow's press conference, which
That's
is
what I'm waiting on.
I want to see the one from Microsoft, and also I want to see the Bethesda showcase.
I don't think I've ever actually been waiting for a Microsoft press conference before, but this time I am.
Because
they've actually got my attention.
Yeah, because we may actually get to see finally.
Maybe, possibly,
hopefully,
maybe,
hopefully,
it'd be nice.
Well, there's a countdown website counting down to E3 for it.
Do we know how up to date that is? If that's current?
I
haven't
don't
checked in on
know.
that.
I haven't checked that.
I have to look in on that. I know that they had something going with it.
I know Cobra TV has been live streaming like crazy the past several days, past several weeks, every day about it.
He's been on an awful lot, yeah.
He's been doing an awful lot because what's going on is the biggest update to No Man's Sky is coming out next month. And E3 is just the right time for them to show it off. And the reason why is because they're doing a Xbox version. And the Xbox version will ship with the new update, the next update.
Let me I want this on the record.
Yeah.
I'm going to go ahead and put this on the record. That my feeling about what Next is, based on some videos I've seen and some other data, is that I don't think Next is 1 year worth of content. I think Next is 4 years worth of content. Because he said something in a video, Sean Murray said something to the effect of, and there was a video I'd seen for the first time ever, and it was like he said, and this was back in 2014, he said, then there's this other thing that we don't want to tell you about, and it's multiplayer, and it's big, and it won't happen. He basically says it won't be at launch, it'll be sometime later. What that makes me think is they were working on Next. The may not have been called that, but the version that we're ultimately going to get started back in 2014. So I think my prediction is Next is going to be far, far, far bigger than what people are expecting it to be. Maybe I'm wrong. I could be wrong, but I'm going to go ahead and just I'm going to put my chips down on it's way bigger than everybody.
Yeah.
That's where I'm going to put my chips at. If I'm wrong, I'm wrong, but that's where I'm going to put my chips at. We'll see what happens tomorrow, if it even shows up.
Now, you said recently that they're using the Waking Titan ARG to tell the backstory to No Man's Sky.
Yeah,
this
is the thing that people aren't understanding about No Man's Sky. No Man's Sky is not a space simulator in the way that you think that it is.
Yeah, it's not like Elite Dangerous.
It's not like Elite Dangerous. It's not trying to model a real universe. It is a matrix. Think of the movie, The Matrix. That's what the universe of No Man's Sky is. And there's no context to tell that outside backstory within the context of the game. It's like somebody in The Matrix trying to talk about Zion within the framework of the Matrix. Nobody would know what you're talking about. An outside world, what are you talking about? You're stupid. So within the context of the world, there's no framework to tell that outside story.
Yeah.
So as much as the ARG is about kind of giving you clues as to what the next version of the game is going to have, it's also telling you the backstory of how that universe got created and how the Matrix got started and how basically as a player or as an individual, you're locked in that universe or trapped inside within that domain.
Yeah.
And it explains the backstory to that world and why it's dying, why it's resetting. It's basically rebooting itself every so often and why that's happening and what's going on the outside. It's telling lore.
Yeah.
It's been essentially like Skyrim's lore books that give you story outside the context of the game. That's what function the ARG serve.
Yeah. And they've used since the Waking Titan update. I mean, No, since the Atlas Rises update, they've used the ARG to leak information about the game. Like they leaked the new ship design, the new rare ship.
I just saw the thing about the it was on the box art, but it's pretty much confirmed that the ringed planets are going to be a part of it.
Ringed planets and some kind of either buildable capital ship or some kind of new capital ship.
And see, I think that cover art is more than people realize. And this is what I'm saying is I think the game's bigger than people think, because there's several features on that box. One of them being asteroids, ships, players, different starship designs, multiplayer. I think the box is actually saying a lot.
Yeah. And
Ray Rod, in one of Cobra's things, said even in one of the files, what he covered in just the description was 1% of what he had seen in there. Now, people got all weird and fussy and complaining that, he's just exaggerating and all the drama around all that, whatever. But I think if he's accurate, what this means is a lot of this stuff has been in existence for a long time, and they've not been using it because they weren't ready with it.
Yeah.
This is why I think if he said in even just the list he gave would be a major patch release all by itself, just to enable what he was talking about. And they've been able to go in and turn on some of those features. And some things require templates that he doesn't have the original templates for, so they can't enable them without just making stuff up. But other things can just be turned on. So all that stuff's still in the code.
And Ray Roth said there was a lot in there. There was a lot of stuff in there.
He rattled off like 10 minutes worth of functionality, and he said it wasn't but 1% of one file. And like I said, they've been working on this thing since 2014. We
know a couple of years ago, someone did a tour of the Hello Games. Forget who it was. They did a tour of the Hello Games office, and there was a machine running a different build of the game, and they wouldn't let them look at it.
They said, no, we can't show you that. That's not, no one's ready for that yet. So, or something like that. So I think next is going to be the version they wanted to launch. It's going to be so big that people are going to look at it going, how did they do this in 1 year? The answer is they didn't. The answer is they've been working on it for 4 years. They needed 4 years to build this. Sony, basically Nintendo shoved them out the door at 2 years.
Sony.
Sorry. Sony shoved them out the door at 2 years.
Yeah.
And they weren't ready. And that's like, they had a timed exclusive, and they said, no, you've got to release, you have a timed exclusive, you got to meet that schedule. And so they just gave us what they had minimally working. And they've been taking components that they had working that could be dropped into it and put them in there, and that's what we were getting. And as they got closer to finishing the other one up, some of those features worked their way over into the version we have. But there's another build out there. Basically, Cobra's been right about that other thing. There's another build out there that we have yet to see, and it's massively different.
Yeah.
It's the game they promised. Because when they were talking about all those features back at launch, he was talking about the version they had. And I think that's what we're going to see. And I think all the features that they talked about, all of them are going to be in there and more. It's going to be huge.
That's why we are really anticipating tomorrow's press conference.
I don't know if they're going to show it or not. My hope is that they don't just show a trailer. They need to kind of break over that a little bit. It would be really good. I don't know if they're going to do this. It would be nice is if 505 put on the floor a playable version, or at least if they do show it, to allow people to see the game in action, to say this is the game, not just a trailer alone, but to be able to finally see it.
Yeah, they need to bring 4 people out and show them multiplayer.
And show everybody multiplayer. Show it working. Let's see what the world looks like. That will both adjust the expectations so that the hype train will stop, so people can stop guessing at what it's going to be, and be excited for what it is.
Yeah,
that will straighten all that out. That it would be a big help to the whole situation.
Definitely.
That's what I feel they should do, is have a playable version, if not on stage, at least in a booth somewhere that people can try it and report on it. And that would be the best thing.
Yeah.
Is let people get their hands on it. You're only a month from launch.
Yeah.
Let people get their hands on it. That alone, if it's as good as it seems like it should be, that'll push units right there. That'll push units for the Xbox day one.
Yeah.
Because people are like, oh yes, now we get the version we always wanted.
Yes.
It'll sell better, in my opinion.
Mm-hmm. It'll
And
sell
then the
better.
expectations will be correctly attuned, and not just hype train.
Oh yeah. Because that's what happened the last time, is that the media was hyping the game up like crazy. Actually, it was Sony responsible for
Sony
a
was
lot of the
doing
hype.
it. There's
And
no way. People say that
The community
people say
just went with it and went crazy.
Yeah, people say Hello Games was in charge of it. I don't think so. There's no way. What was it, Covert, or what was it? Who was it he go on live TV with? Game developers never go on live Tonight Show type shows. I forgot who he was with. It was some talk show, late night show. I forget which one now. But he was on there demoing the game, and I'm like, when does that ever happen?
Yeah, I think it was. I want to say it.
Jimmy
it was
Fallon?
Jimmy Fallon.
Was it Jimmy Fallon?
Might have been Jimmy Fallon.
That he went
That
on the
rarely
Jimmy Fallon
happens.
show?
Something like that
Like,
rarely
since-
happens. I know
since when do
Nintendo
game-
appeared there.
Talk about
the
when do
Switch.
game developers go on to talk shows at night promoting their game? It's not even the place you would see an audience for that.
Occasionally, you would see that.
It's rare, and it's how would Hello Games, a little small indie company, get the resources to do that?
I know Conan
had to be
O'Brien
arranged by Sony.
has this clueless gamer bit that he does where he plays games on his show.
I know, but it just seems funny that Hello Games would be the one that would be among those doing that. I just find that strange.
Yeah, that's a bit strange for a indie studio.
Mhm.
But No Man's Sky then was a pretty high profile game. It had a lot of attention. It had a lot of hype because of the Sony marketing thing. Because to give you an idea why we say Sony was in charge of the marketing, is they are always in charge of the marketing whenever a game has a exclusivity or timed exclusivity contract. They're always in charge of the marketing. And No Man's Sky was under a timed exclusivity contract. That's why we're getting an Xbox version now.
Yeah, because that's finally expired.
Yep, that finally expired.
I'm kind of hoping that if this really is the game we've been looking for, that once everything is said and done and he's out from underneath Sony's thumb, that he'll start talking a lot. I'm hoping he'll talk more. Although Sean Murray is not a very communicative person, I think there's something unusual about him a little bit. I think he's one of those kind of folks who's more comfortable behind a keyboard than he is a microphone.
Yes,
and you can tell in his posture he's not a good spokesperson. He's a
savant, essentially.
Kind of, yeah.
The way he acts, his body, his body language. He's clearly a savant. He's clearly
that interview.
Yeah.
Because he never looked at the interviewer or at the camera. He was looking kind of down and away.
Yeah.
And sometimes for some people it's really hard to focus. Their mind is sort of elsewhere, and their body language is different than someone who's practiced at the art of media. He's not practiced in the art of media.
No.
And that's a little bit of what gets him into trouble, not because of his situation, but it's just a side effect of it.
Yeah. They're not
he's just
very
not good at it.
They're not very good in social situations.
My recommendation to him and the company is to get a good spokesman.
Yeah, thing is, he's the head of the company.
Yeah, I know, but I mean, at least to have somebody off screen say, "No, shh, quiet, don't talk about that yet."
like Yoshi P does.
Yoshi P will have somebody off screen who he'll kind of look over and kind of they'll give him that evil eye, kind of like, no, you can't go there yet. I know you want to talk about that, but you should keep that under wraps. Here's your list of things you don't talk about. Here's a list of things you can say. Stick to the list.
Yes. Also, after Microsoft's press conference tomorrow is Bethesda's, and I'm really interested in seeing what's going to be in Bethesda's showcase, because Fallout 76 was recently
another Fallout
announced.
game.
Plus, what the heck is Starfield? Is Starfield really the sci-fi game that they've been saying that they were working on, or is it a internal code name for Elder Scrolls 6? Are they going to drop Elder Scrolls 6 on us, and they're just saying that they were working on this thing called Starfield? Or, Starfield has that been just a code name all along?
I think it is some kind of, my feeling is, I've saw some videos and stuff that sort of kind of lean into it is some kind of sci-fi game that, I forget what it was. Somebody was talking about it and they were pointing to somebody on a website who that forum requires you to provide proof, otherwise you'll get banned.
Oh, yeah.
It was that particular one, and they were basically saying, yes, that the forum moderators are going on something like, we can validate that he's in a position to know, even though we can't directly validate his data.
Yeah.
So we're going to let it slide, something like that.
Napoleon Bonaparte, welcome to the stream. It's in YouTube chat.
Okay, I actually don't have the stream where I'm at. So.
Yeah, I should have sent you the URL so you could bring it up.
Yeah, I don't have it.
Next time when we do the stream after the press conference, when we get our impressions of what EA is going to show us today. Yeah. So for the Bethesda one, I'm interested in Fallout 76. Is this going to be a multiplayer game like a lot of people are saying in leaks, or is it going to be is Fallout 76 going to be to Fallout 4 what Fallout New Vegas was to Fallout 3? It's just going to be, because it's not made by Bethesda.
That's what it'll be.
Yeah, because
my personal opinions, it'll be something like that.
Well, it's made by another studio. It's made by another studio that is part of whole Bethesda's own circle. Plus, they helped co-develop it. Yeah, they helped work on it.
I think it'll be pretty much it won't be exact, but I think it'll be sort of in the same vein to some degree.
Thanks, Napoleon. Thanks for giving us good luck on this, because we're gonna need it. Yeah. Also, I'm interested in Starfield. Is it going to be a sci-fi game? Is it going to be a completely brand new franchise from them? We haven't really seen much of a really new franchise from Bethesda in a long time. Fallout was a new franchise years ago, and
they kind of need something new at this point, though. It would be good for them to freshen it up a little bit.
Thing is,
it's been back and forth, ESO and Fallout. They kind of need something fresh.
I think it was Legacy Killer HD that said this, but I do agree with him. It was Legacy Killer, or I think it was Legacy Killer. Said that if they don't release a Elder Scrolls game now, it'll be 10 years between Skyrim and Elder Scrolls 6. That'll be 10 years.
That's a long time.
That's a long time. And expectations on that will be high because of that time, that distance. Mm-hmm. And it took them 4 years, I think, if I recall, it took them 4 years to make... No, I think it was Oblivion, it took them 4 years. I think it took them 6 years to make Morrowind, because they were switching to a completely new engine then. And I think it was 6 years after Oblivion when they released Skyrim. So it was a long time, but 10 years is still a long time.
It's been getting longer and longer, and the games have been getting bigger and bigger.
The games have been getting bigger and bigger. Also,
they've been sort of depending on the survivability of these games through modders.
Now, they talked about there were going to be 2 games that they were releasing. There was going to be one that they said used the old animation engine and one that used a new animation engine that they were working on. The old animation engine, that's probably going to be Fallout 76. The new animation engine that they've been working on, that will probably be Starfield or whatever Starfield is supposed to be. Yeah. If it is the game that they say it is, or if it's actually a code name for Elder Scrolls 6, and they use this whole story about Starfield as smokescreen to keep people from finding out the truth, because in this day and age, leaks can happen easily.
The movie industry's been getting creative on their way of dealing with leaks, like releasing false scripts, giving the actors false scripts, making fake trailers. So I would not be surprised if some of those techniques started leaking their way into the video game industry.
Yeah. Marvel and Lucasfilm have definitely been using those.
They've become masters at it.
Yeah, especially Marvel. They're
good at it. Yeah, they've become good at it. So I would not be surprised if that starts working its way into the game industry to start keeping quiet what we're working on.
Yep. Now, after Bethesda's press conference is Devolver Digital. You're not so familiar with that. I'm a little more familiar with that.
I'm not quite up to speed on those guys.
They are known for some of their indie. They are known for a lot of really popular indie games. If I recall, I think they are responsible for Hotline Miami, which that was a big game. And
that sounds like Hotline Miami. So much sounds like one of those 1-900 numbers. I'm just gonna leave it there.
And
it just does.
Their last E3 press conference wasn't really a press conference. It was a pre-recorded show, and it was weird. It was strange, but then given these guys and the fact that they are an indie studio and an indie publisher, they are a publisher, and they produce a lot of stuff, and they release a lot of games, a lot of very strange games too. I wouldn't be surprised if the next game that they release is going to be really bizarre, and if their E3 presentation this year is going to be strange.
Really bizarre.
Because last year it was really strange. I mean, they were smoking some good shit.
Like, pass the pipe, man. That looked like it must have been good.
Now, after that, Monday is Square Enix, and we're going to see couple of things I'm hoping to see. One is Shadow of the Tomb Raider, the new Tomb Raider game. I don't know if we're going to get a new Deus Ex. I don't know if they're going to do anything with Final Fantasy XIV.
I don't expect 14 to be there.
I don't expect it to be there because we're still a couple of years out from getting another expansion.
At least a year.
Yeah,
maybe a year and a half.
At least, and we won't start seeing whispers of that until next year.
They're only 4. Yeah, they usually do that outside of this.
Yeah.
I would expect something. If there's anything Final Fantasy, maybe there might be a clip on 7 or something if they're going to say anything at all about Final Fantasy.
Because they've been unusually quiet about Final Fantasy VII Remake. And some of the leaks and information we've been getting hasn't sounded very good. And so we need to see something.
I think it might be. I think they might have bit off more than they could chew trying to get that game converted.
From what I understand, it's going to be multiple games. That they're having to break it up into multiple games, basically.
That don't sound like it bodes
Or
well.
releasing different chapters. I think, guys, as I agreed, they
well, then again,
to
they
do
might
it
be
right.
trying to
That
follow
they've
the
had,
model they did Final Fantasy 15 though. That they were doing that there.
yeah. Now, will they announce some? Because they've been releasing a lot of DLC for 15. They may announce more DLC for 15. Plus, also, there was a trailer at, I think it was last year's E3, where they showed, not Noctis, but one of the other characters wearing a PSVR headset in the game.
They added the first-person mode to the PC version of the game. I would not be surprised if that was a precursor to going to a VR mode.
Yeah.
That game's pretty heavy on the front side of things, so I don't know if you're going to need a pretty hefty system probably to get that VR correct.
Yeah.
But I wouldn't be surprised if, although all the slinging around they do would be pretty disorienting, but then again, they have teleporting in games in VR anyway, so think you pick.
Yeah.
It'd be a heck of a thing to play that in VR, though.
Also, there was a leak of... also, going back to the Bethesda thing, real quick, Rage 2. No one expected Rage. Rage was okay. I played the first Rage. It was okay. I mean, it had John Goodman in it, which was great. He had John Goodman and did a voice in the game, which was good. Sort of a Fallout 4-ish game with cars. A mix of Fallout 4 and Mad Max with mutants and everything. It was interesting. But once you finished the main campaign, there really wasn't much else to do. Really weren't a lot of other side missions to do. It was mostly racing. The game was too focused on racing. It looks like this next game in that franchise is going to be open world, and it's not going to be so focused on racing. It's going to be focused on a lot more things. So, and also it looks like you get a suit of powered armor. You can get a powered armor suit as well. So I'm also looking forward to that at Bethesda's.
Everybody wants
conference.
to Iron Man these days.
Yeah. So then after that, Devolver Digital with all their indie titles and their weird stuff. And then Square Enix. And then I'm missing one here. Ubisoft. Ubisoft is when?
Well, you had just gotten to them because you talked about Square Enix here. They were pretty much the next in line.
Okay, they're next after Square Enix.
Yeah, because Microsoft, Bethesda, Devolver, Square Enix, then Ubisoft. Those are Square Enix, Ubisoft, PC Gaming Show, and Sony. Those are all on Monday.
Okay. They may show us a little bit of the Division 2, the next game in the Division franchise, the Tom Clancy Division franchise. I've got the Division. I played a little bit of it. It's interesting. I think the bosses are a little too bullet spongy. It took a long time to take down one before. I may go back and play that some more and do some streaming of it at some point. But the Division 2, we'll probably get a good look at that. We may get some DLC for maybe the current Assassin's Creed. We might get some DLC for that. There were some leaks of a new Assassin's Creed game from Amazon Canada. There were several games that were leaked from Amazon Canada accidentally, and so we may see a new Assassin's Creed game. I get the name that it was going to be called. Assassin's Creed Odyssey. There's a few other titles that I wouldn't be surprised if we saw there. I don't know what else they will show. Most likely we'll also see something with Let's Dance from them. Most likely. Because, hey, this is Ubisoft. They're gonna have something with Let's Dance, and they're going to have an awkward a dance segment on stage, just like last year. And now the other one that I am interested in seeing is the PC gaming show. That is PC Gaming Magazine does this. That started this show. It started 2 E3s ago. The first one they had, it was in a very small venue with a small audience. And then it expanded into a much larger venue last year. It got bigger. It got a bigger audience. I'm expecting it may grow this year. PC gaming is big. It's a bigger market than all of the game consoles combined. It's a huge market. Now, not all PC gaming is free to play games. For every exclusive that comes out on a game console, there's 4 or 5 exclusives on PC that never go to consoles at all. And you're starting to see more PC games going to consoles and not the other way around. Because usually it's a console game that comes to PC. Now you're starting to see PC games go to console, like Divinity Original Sin 2. It's either going or went to consoles so far. And that was on PC first. And there are a few other games that are making the jump over the console. So I'm interested in that because that's where they will focus on a lot of the VR stuff for Oculus Rift and HTC Vive, because we do need more VR games.
Yeah, they need to expand that a little bit.
VR, as I said, VR needs really good titles. Fallout 4 and Skyrim are okay for VR.
Well, yeah, sort of, kind of. It makes the games that you've already seen interesting.
Yeah.
But they're not native, and there's a lot of things that would be better if they were. They could have done a little bit more work on it to make it better.
Yeah.
But it's a good beginning. I'm not sure the market's completely ready for an exclusive of Skyrim style that's specifically VR only. I think you're always going to have that VR/non-VR mode available. I think Star Trek Bridge Crew is an example of, it's okay to have the game VR, but it needs to have a non-VR mode. So I think UI adaptation is going to be an important thing. To have the UI and the gameplay be able to adapt to either mode.
Now, didn't Ubisoft either release or announce a new DLC for Bridge Crew?
Yes, they're adding next gen to it. Okay. And they said they went to CBS, who owns the look for the original Trek and next gen era, and they got the precise measurements. They got the actual specific blueprints to the Enterprise D bridge and built it to spec in the game.
Wow.
So you're getting an exact 1-to-1 in the game world of the Enterprise D bridge.
Cool.
I think they did the same thing for the Kirk era, the Kirk era one.
Yeah.
And then they were even being more precise for the next gen one. And they're adding some new content to it too. Oh, they're adding the Borg, and they're adding who else are they adding? They're adding the Borg, and there was one other. I can't think of what it was.
The Dominion?
No, they haven't added the Dominion yet. But they've definitely added the Borg, and there's another.
Or the Romulans?
Romulans.
Yeah.
Romulans. They added next gen era Romulans.
Because if there's one thing about Star Trek fans is that if there's one thing off, they will let you know about it.
You will hear about it.
You will hear about it.
The TV show caught occasional grief because they mislabeled a room number. Suddenly, Diana Troy was on deck 12 instead of deck 3 or some stuff, and they'd get letters in the mail about it or something like that. They put her on the wrong deck she was on the wrong side of the ship or something or whatever. I mean, it would nothing like that specifically, but it would be things like that. They'd be like, hey, they're on the wrong side of the ship or the wrong deck or something. But
so if that's not been released, we might see some stuff about that.
That's possible. I don't think it's out yet, so they might show it off.
Yeah.
I don't think I've seen any videos of it, so they might show it off.
So I don't know what will be shown at the PC gaming show, because I know there's a lot of new games coming. I don't know a lot of them. I'm hoping that we might see more of Dual Universe.
That would be nice. I'd like to see more of that.
More of Dual Universe, and there's got to be, at this point, with the whole controversy over this $27,000 pack, $27,000 pack you can buy that gives you all the ships. If you spend $1,000,
you're talking about Star Citizen?
Yeah, if you spend $1,000 in the game,
that's silly.
You can buy this $27,000 pack that gives you everything.
You're buying concept ships. You're buying ships that are even in the game. You're buying the promise that you'll get the ship.
Yeah, they've got to do something to basically prove to people that that they're not doing this to scam people. Because
I'll be honest with you, I've reached the stage of, because I've been kind of a critic of that for a while now.
I don't think Chris Roberts is out to scam people deliberately. I don't think that he is. I think that he's basically suffering Peter Molyneux syndrome. That he is promising more than he is able to deliver. And instead of getting a workable game out, they're constantly adding on new features, new technology, rather than actually working on the content that they need to get the game going.
I've called it No Man's Sky in reverse, essentially.
Yeah.
Where basically, when No Man's Sky came out, even though there was nothing in the game, and that's a fair criticism, that the foundation was there. And you could look at what they did and say, oh, well, you could add this and this and this and this and this, and you could make more content. And at some point later on down the road, they added this and that and that. Then they added a little more here and there. And then they added a little more here and there. And they're slowly building their way up over the years. Star Citizen's doing the reverse. They made it flashy and fancy, but it has no foundation.
Yeah.
And therefore, it's not holding up because there's nothing underneath that's basic and minimal that at least works, that all the stuff they're adding on to can enhance. There's nothing underneath to enhance.
No.
It's just, it's all, No Man's Sky is like the meat and potatoes, but there's no dressing, there's no fancy, there's no flavoring, there's no spice, where Star Citizen's all spice, all dressing, all desserts, but there's no meat, there's no potatoes.
Yeah.
There's no solid foundation for which they're building upon. And it shows.
But they need to release something. What they need to do is get Squadron 42 out the door. They need to release it. Stop delaying it. Get it into people's hands. Get something out there. You can get the game and you can play the game now. If you buy a low-cost ship, you can actually play the modules that are being released now. That's the thing about it. You can play it now, but it's all alpha. They need to get out of alpha and into beta.
Yeah, because most of the reviews I've seen of that is, yes, you can play it. Yeah, it kind of works some of the time.
Yeah.
And then some of the time, not so much.
Yeah. They need to stop focusing on adding on new features and technology like they recently did procedural cities.
Mm-hmm.
They need to stop focusing on adding new technology and just fill out the content they have now, get everything that they've got now working.
Pack it up, polish it, fix up the edges where it's a little rough, and then get it out the door.
Get out of alpha, get into beta, start doing public betas.
Mm-hmm.
You know, give people a free starter ship to get out there and start playing it in a public beta to get rid of the bugs.
Mm-hmm.
And then after they go live, add on stuff after that.
And they're going to need to get those gunship ships out that door, because otherwise it's going to be a little messy if those things don't reach fruition.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, they've got to get the concept ships
out of being a concept.
Yeah, out of concept, because people paid money for them.
Paid a lot of money for them.
Because some of those ships are expensive. Some are over $1,000.
I would never spend that kind of money on that kind of thing.
Yeah, because but they have the potential to be one of the greatest space games ever made if they can do it right. He's not the kind of guy. He does not strike me as the kind of guy that would do this deliberately. I think he got too caught up in the heat of the moment. This Kickstarter was really successful, and it has been just building momentum ever since then.
There's been a demand for a good quality space sim for a long time. Right now, we still don't have it. No Man's Sky undershot the mark. Elite Dangerous is basically ricocheting sideways off the mark, and then Star Citizen is basically overshooting the mark, but nobody's landed it right on the nose yet.
Yeah,
they're all flying in all kinds of different directions except straight. And what everyone's been asking for is a good quality space sim that you can have the entire galaxy at your hands, that there's plenty of content to do, that has balanced PvP, that and exploration in a good balance, that is fun to fly, fun to look at, and it could give you hours of enjoyment of whatever type of space adventure you want. And so far nobody's really hit that spot yet. They've all missed so far.
And there are a lot of new space games that are in development or have already been released, either in early access or have been fully released. And
that's why I'm kind of curious about the universe. And see, I don't know enough about the universe to know if they're on target or not, or if they're going to over or undershoot. Or to me, Dual Universe feels like a finished working version of Imperium Survival.
Yeah, the way you build stuff.
That's my thing with Dual Universe, is it feels like a much more advanced working version of Imperium. So maybe I'm wrong on that, but when I look at, you're building little ships from all these little blocks and putting these together in these space stations, I'm like, well, that's Imperium. And Imperium itself is working toward that same goal. They're doing it from a different angle.
Yeah, you build stuff with Imperium, you build stuff very much similar to the way you build stuff in Space
Minecraft.
Engineers.
Yeah, we're Space Engineers,
Yeah. Whereas Imperium is a little different. Imperium, you can draw out objects.
I think Imperium is more Minecraft space style. Almost.
A little bit.
It's all block based almost, and when you're building all the different parts, there's ways you can attach things together and stuff. But the game is still pretty raw.
Yeah.
I mean, it's a work in progress. I mean, it's actively being developed. I mean, they're hard at work on it. I check it out every now and then. There's always, when we first looked at it, it was like version 2, and they're like version 6, 7, 8. What are they on now? I don't even know.
Yeah.
Where are they at? Because they are constantly adding stuff to that game.
To Imperium?
Yeah, let's see where they at today.
Yeah.
Okay, they're up to 8. They're up to 8 release candidates too. So yeah, I mean, geez. They just keep trucking with it.
Yeah. So I'm hoping maybe we'll see more of Dual Universe at the PC Gaming Show, and some other titles.
Actually, getting better looking. Wow.
After the PC Gaming Show is Sony's press conference, and we'll get to see what Sony has for the PlayStation 4. They may do something for Next, No Man's Sky Next, because it will be coming to the PS4 version of No Man's Sky.
I wouldn't hold my breath on that one though.
Yeah, we'll likely see more from the new zombie game Days Gone, and also definitely we'll likely see. This has been confirmed. I think it's been confirmed that we'll finally see what Kojima's been working on. We'll finally see more on Death Stranding. His first game after leaving Konami.
Yeah, that'll be interesting.
That will be interesting because he's been working with Mads Mikkelsen and also Norman Reedus from The Walking Dead. And they're actually friends. Him and Guillermo del Toro. They've appeared on stage before together. They're actually friends. Him and Guillermo del Toro are actually friends. Guillermo del Toro is the director of Hellboy and Pacific Rim. So we will hopefully see more information about that game and exactly what the heck it's about, because Kojima's well known for his mind-F sort of games. He puts in those twists. He put those twists into those brain-blending twists into the Metal Gear franchise.
I'm sorry, I'm getting distracted. I am. Sometimes I'll sit down and take a look at Imperium and I'll get lost. Yep.
Yeah. Well, it's one of those kinds of games where you can easily get lost in it.
Yeah.
So the PS4. So the PS4 press conference for Sony will be the last one on Monday.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know everything that they're going to show. Probably something from The Last of Us 2. We may finally see some information on that. Finally, either a trailer or maybe some gameplay, finally. Don't know everything that we're going to get from them. Probably won't get any announcements on the PS5. I don't think we're going to get that anytime soon.
I think it's too early for that.
Probably too early because we just got the PS4 Pro. Although, looking at the specs and comparing them to the Xbox One X, it is underpowered for what you would consider a higher powered console. Mm-hmm. And some of their 4K games still can't reach 4K and still can't reach 60 frames per second.
I think Sony tends to wind up with underpowered hardware more times than not. When you look at, especially as it's almost like their cycle of development sort of gets kind of in an odd cycle to the way the games are developing. Mm-hmm. I mean, the PS kind of 1 was always underpowered. The PS2 got caught behind after a while. No, PS2 did pretty good though. PS3 was definitely underpowered for its day.
PS3 was hard to develop for because it was a new kind of processor and it was untried. They went with it because it looked really powerful. It was basically a supercomputer chip.
Yeah, and so it kind of its RAM and limitations sort of caught up with it though pretty fast.
Yeah.
So they have a pretty nasty habit of getting behind the 8-ball hardware-wise.
The low RAM is what hamstringed the PS3 a lot.
Yeah. I think it was like 128. I think
128
But
meg of
yeah,
mega memory.
It was small. I was trying to think of what the scale was. I was like, 48 meg, gig. I mean, what? It's like, it was meg, right? Yeah, it was meg.
Yeah. That's pretty limited, whereas now it's like 8 gig.
Yeah.
And it's GDDR5. GDDR5 memory.
But I don't feel like the console war type of thing is really. It feels less imperative nowadays. Maybe it's just because I'm just a PC gamer more than I am a console gamer these days. But it feels less imperative.
Well, the consoles nowadays are essentially low-end PCs.
Pretty much.
Actually, really low-end PCs.
I mean, for the most part, most of the hardware, they don't even. I mean, once upon a time, it was always special chips and special configurations and special CPUs and special graphics alignments and things. And nowadays, it's basically a PC in a box, just watered down to be able to afford it.
Yeah.
Now, most of the hardware inside is, for the most part, most of the off-the-shelf stuff just repurposed and packaged to fit in a box with a of a console box.
Mm-hmm.
So.
Oh yeah, definitely.
So console gamers aren't really console gamers anymore. They're just PC gamers. They just don't know it yet.
Now, someone from Ubisoft yesterday, I saw this on the know. Someone from Ubisoft yesterday and said that we'll go through one more generation of game console, and then after that, that'll be it. We'll go from releasing game consoles to having just set-top boxes, and then we'll be streaming games.
I don't know if streaming games is still going to be fast enough yet. Some of the timings on some of these games are so precise that...
Yeah. We'll need really fast internet. Well, several things will happen. One, we'll need really fast internet. Two, you need to get rid of the bandwidth caps. And
there's a lot. Oh, you're talking about streaming
caps,
services. No.
Yeah.
That's not gonna work. No. The delays for video and all that is way too high.
Yeah.
That'll never work.
Yeah.
That never worked. But they've tried it already before, and even the way things are now, streaming full quality 4K video, I mean, the machines can barely keep up as it is.
Well, they do it now on the PlayStation 4 for their the name of their service on the PS4, but they have a streaming service on the PS4, and they use Gaikai as the back end for it. Gaikai was sort of a competing technology
is that for video or for games?
OnLive. That's for games. That's for games. Now, now Microsoft does something different.
You're still going to have a limited audience because that's going to be massive bandwidth.
Mm-hmm.
You're going to eat bandwidth like it's going out of style.
Yeah.
Even the smallest internet hiccup and your game goes sideways.
Mm-hmm. Oh yeah.
I think there's still a lot of internet infrastructure that's going to keep that to a limited number.
Yeah. I don't think not until the quantum entanglement networking is cracked. I don't think we'll get that until then.
Yeah, once you get some advanced kind of sci-fi futuristic network stuff, then yeah, sure, you could probably do it. But as the infrastructure stands right now,
yeah, because information sent via that would be instantaneous, regardless of distance. You could have a game server on Pluto and play in real time.
Basically, what we're talking about is quantum entanglement theory, where two particles can be manipulated in two different locations, and because the particles are quantumly linked, the effects on one will instantaneously appear on the other.
Yeah.
There's enough science to show that this sort of somewhat works.
And distance doesn't matter.
Distance doesn't matter. So, but getting it to where it can work in a network card and have everything addressable and stuff, that's without needing all kinds of crazy, where it could just plop in a network device and it works. I think we're still a ways off of that, though.
China's working on that right now. They're one of the only few actually working on it, so they'll come out with it first.
So it'll be made in China. What else
Yeah.
is new?
After the PlayStation 4 conference, the next day, Tuesday, the last conference, it will be Nintendo. And
they're just gonna do one of those video things, or
I don't know. I think they're gonna do what they did last year, and when they're gonna focus mainly on one game. They're gonna focus mainly on this big update that they're doing for Splatoon. From what I understand, and they released this weirdly dark trailer for Splatoon. That had this character walking through this dystopian sort of environment, and so it's I don't know exactly what they're doing with that. Also, they released a trailer for the next Smash Brothers, which that's big in esports gaming. I mean, the fan base for Smash Brothers is huge. I
almost feel like some of Nintendo's most of their audience, most it is esports audience.
Yeah,
that's the biggest component to them now, I think. Maybe I'm wrong on that, but
yeah.
Whether Splatoon and Smash Brothers and
yeah, I don't know what else they're going to announce. Are they going to announce some kind of DLC for Mario Odyssey? I don't know. I think they're done releasing DLC for Breath of the Wild. They've released a lot of stuff for Breath of the Wild. In fact, they recently released some DLC for Breath of the Wild recently.
What would that be? Because I think I have most of what they put out. What was the last thing that you're aware of?
You might already have it.
Well, I had the pass, but I don't know. I think my only concern, and I haven't looked. Let's see.
Well, we have the Wii U version. We don't have a Switch yet.
Well, that's what I was kind of curious, is if there's content we're not getting.
I don't think so. I know they shut down some things on the Wii U, but they didn't shut down the store.
Trial of the Sword, I have that. Heroes Path Mode, I have that. Master Mode, got that. Travel Medallion, got that. More Armor, I think I got that. Correct Mask, got that. That's it. So, okay, I have it. So unless this article is old,
I think
www.zelda.com, I don't think it's that old. It's got to be Nintendo.
I think there might be one other one that they're going to release. Either that or it's already out and we've already got it. I haven't seen much on it, but again, they're gonna focus a lot on Splatoon and whatever new they're gonna be doing with Splatoon. I don't think they're gonna announce too much more. They might give us a glimpse of the next Metroid Prime 4, which I'm hoping they do. But from what I understand, they're not going to show that much more other than what they're doing with Splatoon, and possibly also the new Smash Brothers. They did announce that.
Here it is. There is some stuff I'm missing.
Okay.
We don't have this stuff. So it's it's called the Champions Ballad.
Yes, that.
DLC Pack 2 Champions Ballad. None of this stuff looks familiar to me at all.
Okay.
Okay, so alright. Find that out.
I don't think either of us have finished Breath of the Wild.
No, I know I haven't.
And I know you've got the Wii and you've got the Wii U in your room.
Time to time. Yeah.
We need to get a Switch.
Yeah. I play it from time to time, but
we won't be streaming it because Nintendo is, well,
Nintendo.
I like Nintendo as a game developer. I don't like them as a company because they they've got issues when it comes to making business decisions.
Mm-hmm.
They make some weird business decisions. So that was everything that's coming up this weekend and Monday and Tuesday for the press conferences of what we are hoping for and expecting for E3. And after the Sony press conference today, we're going to do our impressions live stream of what we think, what we thought about what we saw, what they presented, give our opinions of what they showed us. If it's going to be anything like their previous E3s, it's going to be mostly trailers and occasionally some gameplay demos today. Like that's Sony. Dang it. Don't know what EA's gonna do.
I don't think EA knows what EA's gonna do, but anyway.
Not sure how EA's gonna do it. I've got an idea of how Microsoft's gonna do theirs, because they've been fairly consistent. Sony's been fairly consistent. Ubisoft, they have no consistency. Devolver Digital, you have to be high to understand them.
If not, at least it helps.
It helps. So, I'm seeing that they're getting ready to start the stream on IGN.
Mm-hmm.
It's not that the press conference is starting now, but they are gearing up to start their yapping session before the press conference begins. I'm going to sit in on and watch that and see what they say. And they usually do show a few things, show some new trailers and stuff during that time. They have a few interviews beforehand, and then they get into the press conference, and then that's when their coverage of E3 really kicks in. Again, E3 hasn't officially started yet. These are the press conferences before the show starts. Technically, it starts Monday. The expo starts Monday, technically. So these are just the press conference events that are taking place ahead of time. So technically it starts Monday, and then I think it ends Friday or that next Sunday. Forget how long it's going to run for. And like last year, they're going to have it where part of it is open to the public, like they did last year.
I think that's become a normal thing, hasn't it?
Becoming a normal thing because a lot of the other gaming conferences, the big ones, like the PAX conference, like the PAX expos, and also Gamescom in Germany, Cologne.
It's really easy to get in there.
Huge. Gamescom is the E3 of Europe, and it's open to the public, and it's huge. They're all there. All the major players are there. And I think the reason why a lot of the major players pulled out of E3 last year is because they weren't able to reach the public. Because it was just a press and industry insiders only conference, an expo, and they want the public there because they don't have to go through middlemen anymore. It's not like the 90s. They can go they can sell straight to their consumers now.
Internet's changed a lot, and things like that.
Yeah, the internet's changed a lot, so they don't have to impress stores to sell their stuff. They can sell it direct.
You get people excited, they'll do all the store pressure you need.
Mm-hmm. Or they can just sell on Amazon.
Mm-hmm.
And stuff, and so they don't have to impress stores to get them to buy stock and stuff anymore. Besides, GameStop is on its way to dying anyway. So
the necessity for it with online distribution is pretty much killing it.
Yeah,
slowly.
I mean, you can still get PC games on disc, but for the most part,
I have not bought a game on disc except for a console game. The last one I bought is the one where they released, PC games. The last time I bought a disc for a PC game,
it's been years for me.
Maybe I want to say StarCraft.
For me, disc, well, it's because I have to, because of my account, is Final Fantasy 14.
Ah, okay, yeah, but I only did that because I was getting the collector's edition. And the way that I've got my account all messed up on there anyway, because it's got the same issue. But I'm not counting that.
Yeah, and
I'm thinking about where I bought a game and I had to buy it on disc because it wasn't available any other way.
Yep. And Daniel in Gamers Bay, welcome to the chat. Actually, you came in around the end of the show. He says hi to me and you. He's in the text chat. We're near the end of the show. Yeah, I haven't, except for Final Fantasy 14's expansions, because I have to do that because my account is a retail copy. You can't register the Steam code if you have the retail version.
It's a strange thing with what they do.
I know, it's weird.
All right, I'm getting a audio or video from them now.
It's them yapping.
I'm gonna mute it over here.
Yeah, this looks like Just Cause. Just Cause 4. That's that would be during Square Enix's conference. Just Cause 4 was yeah, you got too late, Daniel. Anyway, you'll be able to back up through the video. But yeah, the next Just Cause game that was leaked in when Amazon Canada leaked a whole bunch of game titles.
That's been happening a lot because well, go ahead, but
well, that's what I said. In this day and age, leaks happen a lot. Leaks keep happening a lot.
The release date for No Man's Sky was supposed to be held, and the Amazon leaked that too.
Yeah.
That they leaked it like almost like way early on in the process.
Yep.
They dropped that the launch date, and they were accurate on it too. So.
Oh yeah, the leaks are getting better. Plus, also you mentioned that site. Okay, he said he shared the video out on Twitter. That's cool. That's good. Get more people watching it. You'll have to watch the archive recording.
The Last of Us Part 2 TBA. We're talking about The Last of Us 2 here.
Yeah, The Last of Us 2. The Last of Us, we never finished The Last of Us 1.
No, I never finished it.
We don't play our consoles very much.
No.
I mean, I played a lot of... We got the Master Chief Collection. I played a lot of that.
That's kind of what I'm hoping to do is the rig in the living room. I'm hoping to be able to have that set up in there so that we can do console gaming in that. I've been thinking about that a little bit.
Yeah.
And see if I can ever get that message. Maybe though.
Daniel, I think the Amazon leaks, I think those were on purpose. I think a lot of the leaks are not accidental.
Yeah.
A lot of them are done for publicity stunts. I believe that they may be a lot of them publicity stunts because it happened so soon, so close to E3. It happened so close to E3 that I think it was done to give people a tidbit of what might be coming.
I hope they do it better.
So,
on The Last of Us 2,
do a fast recap before we go. We talked about what I'm possibly expecting from E3. Possibly some stuff for Battlefront 2. I'd like to see some more stuff on Anthem, because I think the future of BioWare pretty much hinges on how good Anthem's gonna be.
I've put my chips on No Man's Sky being bigger than people think.
We're definitely gonna probably see more on the next FIFA game. Beyond that, I'm not sure what more EA is going to show us.
They're talking about Final Fantasy VII here.
It's looking good. Definitely close to the Advent Children models.
Yeah, I was gonna say this looks more like the Advent Children.
Yeah. Then tomorrow is Microsoft and Bethesda, and Devolver Digital. So we're really looking forward to the Microsoft one because we may get to see No Man's Sky next, the new update to No Man's Sky. Also,
Maybe.
I want to see Bethesda's because of Fallout 76 and whatever the heck Starfield is.
Whatever Starfield.
As well as Rage 2. Rage 2 looks pretty interesting from the teaser trailer.
I've not seen this much of this shit.
Yeah. Oh, you haven't seen much of that? This is old. That little bit that they showed there was old. Now that's new.
Well, it's making me think of the way they've done 10 a little bit and some of that.
Yeah.
I'm not 10, but
15.
15.
Yeah.
I think they're gonna.
I think they definitely very much borrowed some of the combat system from 15 for Final Fantasy 7.
Yeah.
Then after the press conference, Devolver Digital is probably going to be the thing that you can only understand if you're drunk or high. Pre-recorded conference. And then after that, then there's going to be Square Enix, Ubisoft, the PC Gaming Show, and then after that, Sony's press conference ends out that day. So we're going to get probably Just Cause 4 from Square Enix. We're probably going to get the next Tomb Raider. May not get another Deus Ex game. We may or may not see anything on new DLC for Final Fantasy 15. Hopefully we'll see some stuff. Oh, the next Kingdom Hearts. We'll probably see more on the next Kingdom Hearts. They're showing that right now in IGN. The next Kingdom Hearts game. A lot of people have been waiting for that. The next Kingdom Hearts game, because it's been a long time since we had another one. And then after Square Enix, what did I say? Ubisoft. We'll get to Ubisoft. Don't know what Ubisoft is going to show other than possibly the Division 2, their next Assassin's Creed, which has been leaked to be Assassin's Creed Odyssey. Don't know what they're going to show beyond that. Not really sure what they're going to show beyond that.
Fortnite Battle Royale.
Yeah. And then the PC Gaming Show, hoping for Dual Universe, hoping that finally a release for Squadron 42 from the guys working on Star Citizen will be announced. I'm hoping from that. Not too sure what else we might see from the PC Gaming Show. Then the PS4 conference, definitely going to see Hideo Kojima's Death Stranding. Finally going to see some stuff on that. Going to see some stuff on probably Days Gone and The Last of Us 2. Don't know anything about what else is going to be shown. Probably a lot of overlap from EA today. We're probably going to be seeing a lot of overlap from there. And then the Microsoft conference is mostly going to focus on whatever they're doing with Splatoon, maybe a little bit from the new Smash Brothers, maybe a little bit from the new, new
2-minute warning.
Yeah. Maybe something from the new Metroid Prime. Also, I've heard that Fortnite, which we just saw on IGN's stream here, from what I understand, Fortnite has been all but confirmed for the Nintendo Switch, which would be a big deal for the Switch, getting Fortnite Battle Royale on that console. I mean, there's no reason why it can't run on it, because it's Unreal Engine, and Unreal Engine runs on that SoC that the Nintendo Switch uses. It runs on it easily. So that's a recap of what we're expecting, and I really went through that really quick. After
Halo 6 will obviously be an Xbox One game. It'll be really cool.
basically after this stream is done, we'll be watching the E3 conference. Then after the E3 conference, we will come back, give our impressions of what we saw, and then there won't be a pre-show tomorrow. We will do a stream after. We'll do a stream after all the press conferences are done tomorrow to give our impressions of what we saw during the press conferences tomorrow and the next day and the next day.
You're starting.
All ending to Nintendo. So the IGN's E3 coverage is starting now. So we're going to jump into that, and we will be back later on today with our impressions of EA's press conference. This is not EA's conference right now. This is their coverage starting of E3. So everybody, if you like the video, like their content, consider subscribing to Gamers Bay. Remember to click that bell icon. Also, remember that YouTube has not been sending proper notifications to everybody. So if you want to get notifications of any and all new videos and live streams from the Gamers Bay channel, we always post them in the Gamers Bay community. And if you are interested in a good troll-free, safe environment to talk to people who love video games, you can check out the Gamers Bay community on Google+. We were founded originally on retro gaming, so we have a more an older, more mature audience. We take everybody. So I've had that lazy eye for years, and it's never been fixed.
What's going on?
Oh, someone said, Dennis Bridgewater says, get that lazy eye fixed. I've had it for years. But yeah, YouTube's been messing around with algorithms, and they've been messing up how people get notifications of videos. But we always put notifications in the Gamers Bay community on Google+. So if you want any up-to-date notifications, check out Gamers Bay on Google+. Tygra and I will be back later tonight to go over what we saw and what our impressions are of the E3 conference. I know a lot of people are just now jumping in to the live stream. We're just now wrapping up our pre-show. We'll be back after the after EA's conference later tonight. So thanks for everybody showing up. Remember, watch for the announcements. Watch for when we go live after the conference tonight. And thanks for everybody coming to watch. I've been Mike, TheZorch.
Tygra.
And we'll see you guys in a few hours. What time? When do you think we should do this? Because the conference is, well, we're in Central Time, so it'll be about 1 p.m. when the conference starts, and it'll be about an hour to 2 hours. You think 5? 5 Central?
You asking me?
Yeah.
If that's what time it ends. I don't know what, let's see. So 2, 1. Well, this says 2. That's with 1 here. 2, 3. Yeah, we can do it at 5.
Okay, so we'll be back at 5 Central, which that will be 6 Eastern. So we will be back then to give our impressions of the Electronic Arts press conference. So again, thanks for watching, and we will see you guys in a few hours.